Here we are today in Rumi's cave in London, and I'm joined by esteemed guest Shaykh Babikir Ahmed.
Assalamu alaikum. Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullah khair.
It's very nice to be invited here. It's an amazing place. I've heard so much about it. What is Rumi's cave and what goes on here?
Rumi's cave is an idea that came about while I'm traveling around the country giving talks in universities, and I realized among the congregation there are a lot of young Muslims who are full of faith and eager to learn more about Islam, but they find it difficult to communicate to the masajid, and usually because they are judged and they distance themselves. So I thought if they went shopping, even if they didn't have the money, they will still get into the shops and test whatever is being offered, touch whatever is there to and handle and wear, and they can come out without buying anything. So we opened this space for people who want to come and to find an abode whereby they can feel comfortable. So we called it Rumi's cave because Sidi Jalaluddin al-Rumi rahmatullahi alayh was the man who was accommodating. To me, that's the kind of Muslim I would like to see today, encouraging everybody to come to Islam. Why? Because he wasn't having any barriers. Okay. And the second thing as well, when we think about it, we live in a non-Muslim land, and we live among non-Muslims who are eager to communicate with us, work with us, interact with us, buy from us, sell to us. So why stop where we can do something good? So when we started this space, initially we wanted to have it like a cafe, but then soon I realized people are looking for something more stronger than coffee, and that can only come spiritually from the teaching of the Prophet ﷺ in being good with those whom you interact with. Specifically when he says Islam is interacting with everyone, sharing your food and conveying salam to them, whether you know them or not.
I think I'm recognizing a pattern here with the work which you do, because here in Rumi's cave, it's an open door policy.
Yes.
In the Brent Mosque, it's an open door policy. How important is it for us as people in the Muslim community to have our doors open and welcome others in?
Well, to be honest with you, as Muslims, we are supposed to be deputies for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on this earth. Through what? Through the teaching of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What was he sent that we can take from him to be deputies for him? He was sent as a mercy. And unless we open our hearts, not just our accommodation, but our hearts to welcome people, and he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Al-Islam is to be shared, not in conveying words and shoving down what you think everybody should follow down the throat of people, but by sharing your food. Who doesn't like food? Okay? And by sharing your beautiful smile and saying assalamu alaikum to anybody whom you know or you don't know. Now, there are some people say, but we can't say salam to the non-Muslim. Who says so? The Prophet didn't say that. He said, to the one you know or you don't know. You see? Can you imagine you go to your workplace, you go to your college, and somebody who's not a Muslim says, oh, Ahmed, assalamu alaikum. Say, no, I'm sorry, you are not a Muslim, so I just say hello to you. Does it fit into the teaching of that merciful man? No.
And how long have you been here in London?
In London, I have been here since 1980, exactly October 1980, and at that time I established a circle called the Islamic Circle. It runs still every Saturday, and in it a lot of brothers now, mashallah, see in the da'wah used to come with me, and the focus was to tell people simply about what Islam is and who is a Muslim, and those who embrace Islam to tell them what to do. Little Quran, little Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. It became a very big circle, and outside London I lived while I was doing my education for 3 years in the West Midlands. Yeah.
And inside London, do you have any favorite places where you like to go?
Of course I do. I remember when I used to go to do my Umrah and I go around, and when I miss it in London, I go to Trafalgar Square. And it's a beautiful square, so I walk around and I live, and that makes me imagine as if I'm in the Kaaba. Seriously. And I don't know, there is something very special about a certain part in London, and that's one of them. And the second place I find tranquility and peace is a beautiful park in West London. I used to go to and walk in it. And the idea is, you see, when you walk in the park and there is a space, it linked me to where I come from. Because you walk, there is nothing. You see? And at least maybe see here and there some trees, but buildings are not there. London is a very condensed place, full of people. But alhamdulillah, London, I think, if I'm not mistaken, to me personally, is the best city in the world. Yes.
And I believe you're heavily involved in encouraging people to serve others. And one of the key ways you do this is through Rumi's Kitchen, which is providing, correct me if I'm wrong, free meals for people who are hungry, who are poor, who are homeless, where once again you have this open door policy and invite everybody in to eat with you. Why is that work so important?
Where Rasulullah used to love the poor and the needy, hold their hand, sit with them, eat with them. We are distant from the real faith. Wallahi, touching them is medicine. Touching them is medicine, because your nafs is destroyed. You fast a whole month to destroy your nafs, you are not going to destroy it. You just touch one poor man and Allah will, because then you killed your arrogance. You realize he is your brother in humanity. This is the son of Adam. Adam is looking down, seeing you, how you treat your brother. You see? And therefore, we began this venture of feeding. But when it came, where to feed them and how to feed them. Some people feed them in a room, in a dining hall somewhere. But I said, we are Muslims. Where is the most important place? Where do we do our walima than our wedding? In the masjid. In the hall where we do our weddings, we will feed them there. As we do our walima, we will give them a proper 3-course meal with cutlery, with all the things they want, a starter, a main meal. And anybody who wants to volunteer, he must sit and eat with them, interact with them. Because it's not the food they want, the company they need.
So in this line of positivity, it's obvious you're a man of positivity, and this is your message. You're a spiritual guide for many. What advice, general advice, what are the key areas and themes which we need to work towards as Muslim communities here in the UK to make sure that we're constantly developing and constantly going in the right direction in the face of all the perceived challenges which we face?
To be honest with you, I will say one thing. Any Muslim who's living in this country, and the majority are immigrant Muslims, muhajirun, who are living with the Ansars, the English, the Irish, the Scottish, the Welsh, who are the native people of this land. And I will remind all my Muslim brothers and sisters, they have to learn a lesson from the Hijrah. What was the role and the responsibility of the Muhajir? The host, the Ansar, they shared everything. And we are good at saying it. Alhamdulillah, our hosts have given us everything. Our children are going to school. Our children are going to hospital. When we are sick, we are going to hospital. We don't go to the hospital and say, excuse me, do you have a Muslim doctor? You don't go suddenly to the school and say, my children must be taught by Muslim teachers. No, we put them, we accept that. When we don't have income, we apply for social security, we live in council homes, we take all those things. What are we doing in return? Unfortunately, there is a small segment of people who sometimes say negative things. If this is your homeland, you must respect your homeland. You must treat these people with respect. And the most important is your neighbor. And your neighbor is not one next door to the right or the left or the front or the back. It's 40 in every direction. It's your neighborhood. You should be the best neighbor in the neighborhood.
Shaykh Babikir Ahmed, it's been an absolute pleasure to be with you here today. Thank you for giving us such an insight into the work, what you do, and the person who you are, where you've come from, and sharing with us your vision so we can follow in your example, inshallah.
Jazakumullah khair. Thank you for coming and being with us. Jazakumullah alf khair. Shukran.